You know, we all know that things like timing, mindset, and sheer willpower are absolutely crucial for getting ahead. But what happens when you've got all that dialed in? You're doing all the right things, and you're still hitting a wall with burnout? Well, the system we're looking at today has a really fascinating take on this. It says the problem isn't your tools. It's that your physiological foundation, your bioenergetic blueprint, is actually leaking energy. So this isn't about throwing out what works. It's about building that solid ground underneath it all to make it stick. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, so right off the bat, this is the Bioenergetic Blueprint. It's a proprietary system, and it was developed by Charita Ra'él. The whole idea behind it is to figure out the real reason why so many incredibly smart, driven people just burn out. It's all about giving you a solid physical framework for building what's called embodied authority. So let's just dig right into that core question, right? You've got the vision, you've got the drive, you are putting in the hours. So why does it feel like you're just stuck in this loop of burnout? Or hey, maybe for you it looks more like constantly under-earning, or even self-sabotage. It's an incredibly frustrating place to find yourself.
And this is where the approach gets really interesting, because here's the core idea. This isn't your fault. It's not some failure of willpower. It's not that you're not disciplined enough or you need to think more positively. No, this whole system reframes the problem as something physical, something tangible that's actually happening inside your body. It's a physiological energy leak, and it's literally draining your battery from the inside.
So that brings us to the main metaphor for this entire system, the idea of a leaky foundation. And to really get what that means, we need to break down a couple of key concepts that are, well, the bedrock of this whole framework. Okay, first up, let's just break down the word bioenergetic. The bio part, that's all about hard science. We're talking about your body's actual, measurable physiology. You know, things like how your cells breathe and create ATP, which is literally the fuel that makes you go. Then you've got the energetic part. That's all about how that vital energy moves through all those biological systems, and crucially, what gets in the way of that flow.
And that disruption, that's where this next big idea comes in: character armor. The best way to think about it is like a physical shield that your body literally builds out of tension. It's trying to protect you from all this stored up stress and emotion. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. This armor isn't just passive, it's an active process. It is constantly burning through your energy reserves just to exist, and in the process, it's squeezing your tissues and creating the very energy leaks that are causing the burnout in the first place.
Okay, so if the problem is a real physical blockage, a leak in your foundation, then the obvious next question is, how on earth do you find it? And this is where the system gets really practical and moves from just theory into a super precise diagnostic process. And this really gets to the heart of the whole philosophy here. I mean, think about it. Generic advice like, oh, just get more sleep, or you should manage your stress better, that stuff can't fix a specific physical problem in your body. It's just too general. To really solve it, you have to know exactly where the leak is. You need precision.
And the tool they use for that is called the Vizionary Archetype Assessment. Now, it's really important to get this. This is not a personality quiz. It's not trying to stick you in a box or tell you who you are. It's a diagnostic tool, plain and simple. Its only purpose is to take your psychological patterns, the way you tend to think, feel, and react, and map them onto your physical body. It pinpoints the exact anatomical spot where that stress is showing up as character armor.
Okay, so you've used the assessment. You've pinpointed where the leak is. Now what? You need a system for how to actually fix it, right? And that's where the blueprint rolls out its 4 pillars of mastery. This is the structured game plan for systematically dissolving that character armor and, patching up your energetic foundation for good. Let's walk through these because each one addresses something really specific. First up, Pillar 1 goes after the leadership block. This is all about your sovereignty and action core, basically your body's center for making clear decisions. Unblocking this helps you build that unshakable authority at work, and in your personal life, it's what takes you from being stuck in indecision to taking confident action. Then Pillar 2, this is the big one for burnout. It targets the burnout block by rebuilding what's called your foundational stability axis. This is your core energy reserve. Fixing this is what lets you perform at a super high level without crashing. Pillar 3 is all about the connection block. This works on areas like the vocalic expression complex to break down the armor that stops you from building real, authentic networks professionally and attracting healthier, deeper relationships personally. And finally, Pillar 4, the sustainability block. This is about aligning your entire system with your long-term mission so you can create a legacy that actually lasts. But,
And this is where it gets really interesting. You've got the diagnosis, you've got the framework to fix it, but the system says that's still not enough. There's a missing piece. This quote here really says it all. The assessment shows you what the problem is. The blueprint shows you the system to fix it, but the most critical data for you specifically is still missing. So, what's the missing data?
So what is this critical missing data? Well, to really activate the blueprint and make it work for you, the system says you need to unlock it with information that is 100% unique to your own personal wiring.
And this chart breaks it down perfectly. See, on one side, you've got the general framework. That's the 4 pillars and the archetypes we just talked about. But on the other side, those are your personal activation keys. And there are 2 of them. First is your operating frequency. You could think of that as the specific how. It's how your system is designed to process energy. The second is your signature pattern. This is described as the mechanism. It's the exact key that fits the lock of your specific character armor. So without these 2 personal pieces of data, that whole framework is basically a map, but you don't have the key to the treasure.
And when you put it all together, the diagnosis, the pillars, and that personal activation key, it all leads to the ultimate goal of the system. This isn't just about putting a Band-Aid on burnout anymore. It's about moving way beyond that, into a place where you can create a real, sustainable, long-term impact.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to really think about. Imagine for a second that all those energy leaks are sealed up. That constant, quiet drain on your system is just gone. You're finally operating from a place of total physiological stability. What could you really build on a foundation that is truly unshakable?